Close your eyes for 2 seconds. Now imagine yourself at 60 years old. Your hair is gray. Your face looks tired. And your life feels unfinished. There are dreams you never chase. Places you never visit. Conversations you are too afraid to start. English you still never speak confidently. A better life you keep delaying. Again. And again. And again. And now, the painful truth finally hits you. It is never lack of time. Never lack of talent. Never lack of opportunity. It is the comfort zone. The same comfort zone that tells you, start tomorrow. Stay safe. Avoid embarrassment. Do not risk failure. And suddenly, you realize something terrifying. Years of comfort create years of regret. Now breathe slowly. Because this is where the story changes. Lesson 1. The comfort zone is dangerous. Because it rarely feels dangerous. This is the part most people miss. Danger usually looks obvious. A fire. An accident. A storm. But the comfort zone feels soft. Quiet. Familiar. And slowly, it steals your entire life. Maybe you know this feeling. You want to practice English. You open YouTube. You search for a lesson. But after 5 minutes, you start scrolling somewhere else. Videos. Short clips. Music. Comments. And suddenly, 2 hours disappear. Then your mind says, it is okay. I study tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week. And next week becomes next year. This is where the problem begins. Not with one big failure, but with small daily comfort. Small daily escape. Small daily avoidance. And this changes everything. Because every time you avoid discomfort, your mind becomes weaker. Your discipline becomes weaker. Your confidence becomes weaker. Now, let me show you something important. Imagine 2 people. Both feel afraid speaking English. The first person waits to feel confident. The second person speaks while feeling nervous. 1 year later, their lives look completely different. Not because one person has less fear, but because one person moves forward anyway. Remember this carefully. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes after repeated action. Slow action. Messy action. Uncomfortable action. And this is very important. Your comfort zone wants perfection. But real growth begins with imperfect steps. Maybe you already experience this. Maybe you want to join an English conversation group. You enter the meeting. You hear fluent people speaking quickly. Your heart starts beating fast. Your hands become cold. Your thoughts become loud. What if I sound stupid? What if they laugh at me? What if I freeze? So you stay silent. And after leaving the call, you feel disappointed in yourself. I know this feeling. Because millions of people feel it every day. But here is the truth. The embarrassment lasts a few minutes. Regret lasts years. Remember, the comfort zone protects you from temporary discomfort, while creating permanent regret. Lesson 2. Now, let's talk about overthinking. Because overthinking is one of the strongest chains around the comfort zone. Many people are not physically trapped. They are mentally trapped. By thoughts. By fear. By endless imagination. Maybe you know this feeling too. You write a message in English. Then you read it again. And again. And again. You change one sentence. Then another. Then another. You worry about grammar. You worry about mistakes. You worry about sounding strange. And after 20 minutes, you still do not send the message. This is not really about English. It is about fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of looking imperfect. But here is another truth. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to spend much time judging you. And this changes everything. Because your mind creates stories that feel real, even when they are not real. Now stop for a moment. Think carefully. How many opportunities disappear because of overthinking? How many conversations never start? How many dreams stay dreams? How many times do you say, "I am not ready yet"? This is the dangerous comfort zone. A place where preparation never ends and action never begins. Listen closely to what comes next. Your thoughts are not always truth. Sometimes, they are only fear wearing a clever mask. Your mind says, "Wait a little longer. Practice more first. Start when you feel confident." But confidence rarely comes before action. This is the part most people miss. You become confident by surviving uncomfortable moments. One mistake, one awkward conversation, one embarrassing pronunciation, and then another, and another. This is how the brain slowly learns safety. Not through avoidance, through repetition. Remember this carefully. Every time you escape discomfort, your fear grows stronger. Every time you face discomfort calmly, your fear becomes smaller. Now, let me give you another example. Maybe you want to record your English voice. You press record. You speak for 1 minute. Then you listen to yourself. And immediately, you hate your voice. Maybe your accent sounds strange. Maybe your pronunciation feels weak. Maybe you compare yourself to native speakers online. So you delete the recording. And your mind feels temporary relief. But later, you feel disappointed again. Because deep inside, you know something important. Avoiding discomfort never creates growth. Remember, the comfort zone gives short-term peace, but long-term pain. Lesson 3. Now, let's talk about comparison. Because comparison quietly destroys peace. Especially for English learners. You open social media. You see someone speaking perfect English. Fast, smooth, confident. And suddenly, your own progress feels invisible. Your own voice feels small. Your own journey feels embarrassing. So your motivation disappears. This happens to millions of people every day. More than you think. But here is the truth. You compare your beginning to someone else's middle or someone else's ending. And this is deeply unfair. Most fluent speakers once feel exactly like you. Nervous, slow, lost, embarrassed, afraid of mistakes. But social media rarely shows that part. It only shows the final result. And this changes how people see themselves. Now here is another example. Maybe you understand a full English sentence for the first time. Maybe you watch a movie scene without subtitles for the first time. Maybe you finally understand an English joke. Maybe you order food confidently in English for the first time. These moments look small. But they are not small. They are proof of growth. Quiet growth. Slow growth. Real growth. And this is very important. Real growth often feels invisible at first. Like roots growing under the ground. You cannot see them immediately. But they become stronger every day. Most people quit too early. Not because they cannot improve, but because they do not see immediate results. The comfort zone whispers, maybe you are not talented enough. Maybe English is too difficult for you. Maybe other people are naturally smarter. But these thoughts are dangerous lies. Because language learning is often repetition, not talent. Daily listening, daily practice, daily mistakes, daily patience. And slowly, your brain changes, your confidence changes, your life changes. Remember this carefully. You do not need to improve faster than others. You only need to continue. Even slowly. Even imperfectly. Even while feeling afraid. Lesson 4. Now, let us talk about distraction. Because distraction is one of the favorite weapons of the comfort zone, many people think they are resting. But actually, they are escaping. There is a difference. Real rest creates peace. Escape creates numbness. Maybe you know this feeling. You feel stressed. Your mind feels heavy. Your future feels uncertain. So you open your phone for comfort. Just for a few minutes. But then, 1 hour disappears. Then another. And slowly, your focus becomes weak. Your mind becomes noisy. Your anxiety becomes stronger. But here is the dangerous part. The distraction feels good temporarily. It helps you avoid uncomfortable thoughts. Avoid loneliness. Avoid fear. Avoid silence. And this is the part most people miss. Silence feels uncomfortable. Because silence reveals truth. Truth about your habits. Truth about your fears. Truth about your unfinished dreams. So many people stay distracted constantly. Because distraction feels safer than self-awareness. Now stop for a moment. When is the last time you sit quietly? Without scrolling. Without music. Without noise? For many people, silence now feels terrifying. Because the moment silence appears, their hidden thoughts appear too. Fear about money. Fear about relationships. Fear about failure. Fear about becoming older without changing. I know this feeling. Because many people carry invisible pressure every day. Pressure to improve quickly. Pressure to become successful immediately. Pressure to speak perfect English fast. Pressure to fix life instantly. But life rarely changes instantly. And this is actually good news. Because slow change lasts longer. Slow habits become natural. Slow repetition builds real confidence. Slow discipline creates real freedom. This changes everything. Because now, you no longer need to become perfect tomorrow. You only need one small step today. One lesson. One page. One conversation. One brave moment. That is enough. Remember, your mind needs peace, not constant pressure. Lesson 5. Now, let us talk about something deeper. The relationship between fear and identity. Many people repeat the same painful sentence every day. This is just who I am. I am shy. I am bad at English. I am not confident. I always overthink. And slowly, these thoughts become identity. This is very dangerous. Because the brain believes what it hears repeatedly, even when it is not true. Now listen carefully. You are not your fear. You are not your anxiety. You are not your negative thoughts. These things are experiences, not identity. And this changes everything. Because once you stop attaching yourself to fear, Fear loses power. For example, imagine this thought appears. My English sounds terrible. Instead of believing it immediately, pause. Observe it. Ask yourself, is this completely true? Maybe your English is not terrible. Maybe it is simply improving slowly. And slow improvement is still improvement. This is the beginning of emotional freedom. The ability to observe thoughts without obeying every thought. The ability to feel fear without becoming controlled by fear. The ability to make mistakes without destroying your self-worth. And this is very important. People who grow in life are not fearless people. They are people who continue despite fear. Quietly, patiently, repeatedly. Remember this carefully. Your future changes the moment you stop waiting to feel ready. Lesson 6. Now breathe slowly. And listen carefully to these final words. One day, your life becomes the result of your daily habits. Not your intentions. Not your dreams. Not your plans. Your habits. The small things repeated every day. This is why the comfort zone is dangerous. Because comfort repeated daily becomes your future. But here is the beautiful truth. Small courage repeated daily also becomes your future. One English conversation. One uncomfortable moment. One brave action. One small improvement. And then another. And another. This is how people slowly transform their lives. Not suddenly. Slowly. Quietly. Like sunrise. One day, you understand English naturally. One day, you stop fearing mistakes. One day, you realize your anxiety no longer controls every decision. One day, you look back at your old self and barely recognize that person anymore. And this changes everything. Because now, you finally understand something powerful. Growth never requires perfection. Only repetition. Only patience. Only movement. So remember this final truth. The comfort zone feels peaceful. But real peace comes from growth. Real peace comes from knowing, I am afraid, but I still move forward. And that feeling is freedom. If this video helps you feel calmer today, share it with someone who feels trapped inside fear. And if you want more quiet lessons like this, more slow English, more calm conversations about life and growth, press subscribe. Not for algorithms, not for numbers, but because your mind deserves a peaceful place to grow. And before you leave, remember one final sentence. Your future is created by what you repeat daily, not by what you dream about occasionally.